all hamzas are hamzatul qata' unless an exception comes, right? Al-hurufu kulluha, all hurufs are hamzatul qata'. What is the difference between hamzatul wasl and alif? Alif comes at the in between the word or the end. That's kasra is the strongest, right? I'm just writing it down. Dhamma, then fatha, then sukun. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Bismillah. Alhamdulillah. Salatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah, we are in the last lesson, which is Hamzatul Qata' wa Hamzatul Wasl, inshallah ta'ala. We've read this in our last class, inshallah ta'ala. Today we'll read it once again and we will try to finish the exercises today and finish the book. This is تهذيب محاضرات في علم الصرف. If you do this book properly, this is one book which is enough for you for Sarf, from what I think, practically speaking. But yeah, it's an advanced book. It's not a simple book. You have to practice a lot, do a lot of exercises. Inshallah ta'ala, after that, we'll start a new book in Sarf, which is a simple book, Tasriful Izzi, inshallah ta'ala. So let's begin, inshallah ta'ala. مواضع الهمزتين همزة القطع. We are talking about همزة القطع, where you cut your voice. وهمزة الوصل. همزة الوصل means what? You'll join the hamza. مواضع الهمزتين, the two hamzas are joined where the places of hamza. همزة القطع هي همزة التي تظهر في النطق دائما. همزة القطع, it's always pronounced دائما سواء أكانت في بدء الكلمة أم في وسطه. It could come in the starting or in the middle also. You have to pronounce it properly. همزة الوصل هي الهمزة التي لا تظهر في النطق إلا إذا جاءت في أول الكلام. As for همزة الوصل, it will not be pronounced except you start with it if it comes in the beginning of the speech, which you should know as of now. Like aslam, we are stopping our voice, no? Like if you say min aslam. But ibnun, for example, or ismun, masmuk will join it. ومواضع هذه القطع في العربية. And the places of qata in Arabic are as follows. Practically speaking, remember all hamzatul, that's what I remember. All hamzas are hamzatul qata unless an exception comes, right? So it's majority of them are hamzatul qata unless you know ibnun, ismun. That's what we learn. But yeah, there are mawadi' of hamzatul qata also. Where do they come? Al-fil madi rubai wal amru minhu masdaruhu. Fil madi of rubai, 4 letters, and the amr, the command, as well as masdaruhu, its masdar. Like afatta min al-khayr, that is form 4. If you want to remember, form 4, aslama yuslimu islaman. So amr also, it will come in the masdar also come. Afattu min al-kitabi khayra ifadatin, I benefited from the book, a good benefit. Form 4. Or a'dhara min anzara, a'dharu, adhar also, and anzar also, anzara also. Adharu, I aslamu, like I seek. Adhara or adhara also, he sought, he gave an excuse, or he sought an excuse. Andhara, he warned. Wa ansif ghayraka insafaka li nafsik. Judge yourself like you judge others like you judge yourself. So form 4. Al-hurufu kulluha, all hurufs are hamzatul qata'. So you have to pronounce them. فالهمزة في أوائلها همزة القطع مثل إن وأن وألا. Inna, indeed, anna, that, ala. Listen, Allah is like for grabbing attention. Behold, wa ila, to, illa, except, ya, wa aya. Ya, anyways, I don't know why he gave, but because ya has a alif there, ya, but aya is yes for sure. Aya, wa ghayru dhalik. In ya, it doesn't have in its beginning, anyways. غير أنه يستثنى من الحروف الهمزة في ال. Only al, it will be al للتعريف, it has همزة الوصل. فإنها همزة الوصل لا قطع تنطق في ابتداء الكلام وتسقط في وسطها كما في مثل قولنا التلميذ المجتهد محبوب. So al is obviously همزة الوصل. If something comes before it, we will join it. We'll say من البيت, خرجت من البيت. We'll not say من البيت because al is همزة الوصل. همزة الوصل. الأسماء كلها ما عدا المصادر الخماسية والسداسية, except 5 letters or 6 letters. All the nouns should have hamzatul qata'. Like I said, that's the rule, no? Remember, or the rule is that همزة القطع is the basic rule. فإن الحمزة التي تقع في أول الأسماء عدا هذه المصادر هي همزة قطع، كذلك مثل أحمد وإمام وإبراهيم وإسحاق وأقرب وأسعد، غير أنه يستثنى بها أيضا عدة أسماء. These names are all همزة القطع except some names جعلت العرب همزتها همزة وصل أو همزة وصل تنطق في ابتداء الكلام وتسقط في وسطها. There are some names, some nouns which do not take. So you should just remember these ones like ismun wa istun. Istun is back, ibnun is son, ibnatun, imru'un, imra'atun, ithnani wa ithnatani, waymullah, by Allah, waymunullah, or waymunillah, that is oath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are all nouns which are hamzatul wasl. Very simple. Commonly is ismun, ابن اثنان اثنتان. أما مواضع همزة الوصل في العربية هي as for positions of همزة الوصل is الفعل الماضي الخماسي والسداسي والأمر منهما ومصدرهما. 5 letters and 6 letters. 5 letters like اكتالا يكتالو. So if you want to remember in مزيد فيه except form 4 all are همزة الوصل. Like استغفر you'll not write with a همزة, write it without it. It's همزة الوصل. الذين إذا اكتالوا على الناس يستوفون. Those who weigh to the people, they weigh more, and they when they ask from other people they ask more, but when they weigh for others they do it less. وقولنا ما خاب من استخار ولا ندم من استشار. And ما خاب من استخار, he will not lose who did istikhara from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he will not be ashamed who consulted people. وَنَحْوُ اتَّقِ اللَّهَ حَيْثُ مَا كُنْتَ. Fear Allah wherever you are. It's all Hamzatul Wasl. So in Mazid Fihi except form 4, or you can remember 5 letters and 6 letter ones, they are Hamzatul Wasl. Fear Allah wherever you are. إذا استعنت فاستعن بالله. If you seek help, seek help with Allah. ومثل اعتدال المرء واستقامته مما يوصله إلى النجاح. اعتدال المرء, the moderateness of a man and his straight path, استقامته, or his patience, مما يوصله إلى النجاح, consistency, which will make him go to success, نجاح. Okay, that is that. Then we have فعل الأمر من الثلاثي. فعل الأمر من الثلاثي, which is the أمر of Sulati is never Hamzatul Qata. It is always Hamzatul Wasl. 3 letters. 3 letter ones. كما في قوله تعالى فاذكروني أذكركم واشكروا لي ولا تكفرون. Remember me, I will remember you. Or mention me, I'll mention you. And thank me and do not be unthankful. وقوله عز وجل, this is all Hamzatul Wasl. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اركعوا واسجدوا واعبدوا ربكم وافعلوا الخير لعلكم تفلحون. Oh, you who believe. So you should remember Amr from 3 letters is Hamzatul Wasl. Do ruku, do sujud, prostrate, wa'budu rabbakum, and worship your Lord and do goodness. Perhaps you may be successful. And then al-ta'rif here also. Also they've written with Hamzatul Qata just to show, but it's without it. بعض الأسماء المسموعة عن العرب. Some of the names heard or nouns heard from Arab. مثل اسم وابن. That's what he said before. ابن امرؤ امرأة اثنان اثنان. ترسم همزة القطع ألفا مهموزة. It'll be written, a Hamza will be written on top. أما همزة الوصل فترسم مجردة من الهمزة. It will be written without any Hamza. It will be written without anything, like normal alif. What is the difference between Hamzatul Wasl and Alif? Alif comes at the in between the word or the end. That's called an Alif. Alif never comes in the starting. So this is actually a Hamza. So Alif, which comes in the starting, is called an Hamza, and that Hamza is called Hamzatul Wasl, or it could be Hamzatul Qata. That's what's the difference. So we'll not say Ba, Alif, Ba, Babun. We don't say Ba, Hamza, Ba, because that's not a Hamza, just Alif. Because there were 2 different, Qata, Wasl and all that. That's why they had to call it Hamza. In Indian scenario, they don't do that. They just say Alif, Alif, Alif all the time. But it's actually Hamza, which comes in the starting. حركات همزة الوصل. What are the حركات? What حركة you'll give? حركة همزة الوصل عند الابتداء بها في الكلام ليست واحدة. It's not the same. لأنها تأتي تارة مفتوحة وتارة مضمومة كما تأتي مكسورة كذلك على النحو التالي. In the following example, تفتح همزة الوصل في التعريفية. If it is obviously you'll give فتحة. المرء مخبوء تحت طي اللسان لا تحت طي لسانه. The man is مخبوء is hidden under the folds of his tongue, not under his cloak, not under his cloak. ونحو الثعلب concealed or hidden. الثعلب حيوان ماكر. This is all al with لها فتحة. The fox is a cunning animal. الفتاة تساعد أمها في البيت. The girl helps her mother in the house. ونحو الدين النصيحة. This is all. دين is نصيحة, sincerity. تضم همزة الوصل في حالتين. Sometimes you get them when ماضي الخماسي والسداسي المبني للمجهول. If it is a passive verb for 5 letters and 6 letters, you will give dhamma, because like اعتدى علينا فرددنا الاعتداء. We were transgressed upon and we repelled the transgression. استشير الصديق الوفي فأخلص النصح. The friend was given advice. Al-Wafi, faithful. فأخلص النصح. أخلص maybe. So he was, the loyal friend was sought advice and he gave good advice. فأخلص النصح. It'll be dhamma here in passive. أمر الثلاثي المضموم العين في المضارع. أمر الثلاثي العين المضموم. So if the dhamma has, if the 3-letter verb has a dhamma in between, you will give dhamma. Like unsur akhaka zaliban aw mazluman. Why is it unthur? Unsur, because Saad has a dhamma. Unsur akhaka. Help your brother if it's oppressor or an oppressed. That means you stop him from oppression if it's a zalim. ونحو اسكت تسلم من الخطأ. So keep silent, you'll be safe from mistakes. تكسر حمزة الوصل فيما عدا ذلك من الأحوال مثل إن جلت الغمة وجاء النصر. The sadness was gone away. It'll be kasra if it is apart from these two situations. It'll be kasra. So what are the two situations? In passive verb, or if the middle letter ain kalima has a dhamma. If anything else, you'll give a kasra. So the sadness gone away and the help has come. Help came. ونحو استعين بالله في أمورك. استعين بالله في أمورك. Seek help Allah in your matters. ومثل اخشى الله في السر والعلن. Fear Allah in secret as well as in openly. ونحو استشارة ذوي الرأي من الحزم في الأمور. استشارة, seek advice from people of opinion. من الحزم في الأمور, in serious of matters. من الحزم في الأمور. مثل اثنان لا يشبعان طالب علم وطالب مال. Two people are never full. That is student of knowledge and student of wealth. والخلاصة في ضوابط رمز الهمزة نبينها فيما يلي. So how do you write the hamza? We will explain in the following. تقدر أواخر الكلمات ساكنة دائما. First step is you have to think that the last letter is سكون لأن الخط العرب مبني على الوقف, because the script of Arabic is built upon waqf, stopping. تكره الكتابة العربية طوال الأمثال. No double. So the second rule which you have to remember is that Arabic doesn't like so many letters. ولذلك يكتب الحرف المضاعف حرفا واحدا في مثل قدم. That is why قدم you write one letter and put a تشديد on that. وكذلك كتب الحجازيون قديما داوود ورؤوس وشؤون بواو واحدة. داوود, رؤوس and شؤون with one wow only. Okay, so no double letters. This also you have to remember how to write. تعد من الكلمة اللواحق التي تتصل بآخرها مثل الضمائر وعلامة التثنية وجمع ألف المنصوب ولا يعد منها ما دخل عليها من حروف الجر والعطف وأداة التعريف والسين وهمزة والاستفهام واللام القسم. So if anything joins with it, it'll be considered a part of it. Like pronouns, right? Pronouns are considered. Then dual signs, plural signs, it's like a part of the word. But what comes, prepositions or atf, wow, obviously these are adatu ta'rif, al, seen, hamza, question, lamul qasam, and all of these things are not considered. It's not a part of the word because they are separate words anyways, and this is common. Then al-harakat was-sukun fil kalima turattabu min nahiyat al-quwwa tartiban tanazuliyan ala an-nahw at-tali. Now this is the power struggle. Which happens. If you want to remember this in a short, like we talked about last time, this is kasra wins and then dhamma qad fas. Kasra, dhamma, fatha, sukun. Kasra is the most powerful one, and then dhamma is second powerful, and then fatha is the most chill. Fatha is can adapt anything, and sukun is the most weakest. Also remember this rule, kasra is the fastest. Al-kasratu thumma ad-dammatu thumma as-sukun. Remember this, al-kasratu thumma ad-dammatu thumma al-fathatu thumma as-sukun. ثانيا تتلخص قواعد كتاب الحمزة بعد ذلك في القاعدة التالية. You have to look at these rules now when we are following it. تكتب الحمزة في أول كلمة بألف مطلقة. If it's starting, always written on alif. So you'll not start a word with writing on the waw or writing on a ya. Because alif has four forms, no? Or hamza has four forms. One is like this, one is like this. The whole story here is which form should we write? Like this, or it shouldn't write like this on a nabara. It's not a ya, but imagine it's a ya. It's like a placeholder kind of. And then it's written on a waw. This is what is the problem now. How should we write hamza? Because there are four ways to write hamza like this, correct? So that's why we need to know some rules. One is kasra. Kasra is the most powerful. And then dhamma, and then fatha, and then sukun. This is a rule, if you remember. Now we'll see how to apply it. So hamza, if it comes in this, if you want, I'll write it down here because you might get confused. Let's write it down. We wrote for many things, no? So rules for writing hamza. Number one, hamza will be written on an alif in the beginning of a word. Beginning, it's the easiest in the beginning of the word. Like example, asad. So how do you write asad? Asad, lion. It's written on top, no? Or whatever you do, you give a dhamma. It's like you want to say unsur. Unsur doesn't apply here because hamza al-wasl. But some word like that. Urdun, for example, Jordan. It's written on top because it's dhamma. Even kasra also, Islam. It's written. Hamza is written with an alif itself. It will be written like this. Islam, correct? It's written on an alif or below an alif. That's fine to say it is fatha or kasra. Okay. أما في وسط أو في الآخر فإنه ينظر إلى حركاتها وحركة ما قبلها. As for the middle, for yundaru, you or last, you have to look at the haraka of the hamza or its previous haraka. Okay, this is a basic rule. You have to look at the haraka if the previous, and you have to do the power struggle. Is it hamza, dhamma, fatha, or sukun? Whichever is the strongest wins. The power kasra is the strongest, right? I'm just writing it down. Then dhamma, then fatha, then sukun. Correct? And kasra is the strongest, then dhamma, then fatha, then sukun. Okay? فَتُكْتَبُ الْحَمْزَةُ عَلَى الْيَاءِ فِي مِثْلِ الْمُسْتَهْزِئِينَ. Let's look at the example. Mustahzi'in. Okay, so you want to write, let me just make it this big. You want to write mustahzi'un. Okay, I don't know the rules or anything. So mustahzi, this has a kasra, and as well as this has a kasra. I'll just write it like this as of now. This has a kasra, and then ya and noon. Mustahzi'in. Will I write it like this? No, both have kasras anyways. So we'll look hamza. What haraka it has? Kasra. What does the zai have? Kasra. Correct. So what should I do now? Both have kasra anyways, so there's no problem. So I'll write it like this. Mustahzi'in. Right. To make fun. Munshi'un, the one who start maybe. Munshi'un. Now let's look at munshi'un. Okay, I'm writing munshi. This has a kasra, and then I'll write it like this. Munshi'un. Now the problem is, I look hamza, it has dhamma. Sheen has a kasra. Okay. So maybe I should write it with a different color. You can understand. Munshi'un. So you write it with the red maybe. So this has waw. Now who will win? Will the kasra win or with the hamza win? Now you have to see. Okay. Sheen has a kasra. Oh, the most powerful one. Kasra. So kasra attacks this guy and this guy dies because dhamma fails, no? Dhamma is the second most powerful. So you have to write it munsh. You have to make it blue now because blue has won. It's not red. Red has lost. So it'll become munshi. And then it'll be written on a ya. How do you write it on ya? I forgot. I forgot on the keyboard. Oh, it's just Z. Okay. Munshi'una. Munshi'una. Although dhamma is there, but kasra is one. Yatma'innu. Again, I'm not going into detail. I hope you get it right. Yatma'innu, fatha and kasra here. Itma'anna, itma'innu. It's in the middle. We are just talking about middle now. Itma'anna, yatma'innu. So, well, who's going to win? Yeah, kasra is going to win. This guy is going to win. Yatma'innu. Af'ida, hearts. Itma'anna should be safe, secure. Af'ida. Af'ida, now you see, there's a kasra and there's sukun. So who's going to win? Obviously kasra. Obviously kasra is going to win. Right? Kasra is going to win. And it has one. Fi'atun, fatha and kasra. You'll get used to it later on. But this rule is helpful when you don't know the spelling. But you keep writing Arabic and so on. Just used to it. You'll get used to it. Fi'atun. If somebody writes with an alif or wow, it'll be like weird. جئتنا سكون and كسرة, so كسرة wins. لأن الكسرة تغلب كل الحركات والسكون كسرة wins all the time. كما أنها تكتب على واو في مثل يؤم. Sometimes it will be written on wow because Dhamma and Fatha, who wins? Fatha wins because Fatha is the weaker, no, from Dhamma. So it will be written on wow. يؤدي, يؤم to be يؤدي to perform maybe. وسؤل, wow has a sukun and Dhamma, so Dhamma wins. Sukun is lost. أولياؤهم. Now you'll be like, what's happening here? This alif has a sukun, no? Because it doesn't have anything. Alif has a sukun. أولياؤهم. أولياؤهم, their awliya, their friends, allies. لأن ضمة تغلب الفتحة والسكون because Dhamma overpowers Fatha and Sukun. Kasra overpowers everything. Dhamma only overpowers two. وتكتب ألف مثلا سأل. سأل, he asked, يسأل, and then كأس. سأل يسأل كأس. It's all written on alif. Why? Because Fatha is winning. لأن الفتحة تغلب السكون. Fatha overpowers Sukun. وفي مثل بطء. Now you'll be like, what's happening here? Why is it written on the line? بطء ملء شيء تكتب الهمزة على السطر. It's written on the line. Why here? شيء لأن الكلمات تقدر ساكنة. Because remember the last letter is considered as sukun. So imagine it's not but'un now. It's but. Mil shay. For writing rule, remember the last letter has a sukun because it's waqf. So both have sukun. Now both have sukun. It will be written like on the line, right? تقدر ساكنة وقبلها في هذه الأمثلة سكون. Before this also is sukun. وليس هناك حركة تكتب الحمزة على ما يواقفها. There's no حركة at all. So you'll write it on the line. لذلك تكتب مفردة على السطر. That is why سطر. So for the last letter, you can remember, you look at the previous letter because already sukun, no? So last letters are very easy. There's no power struggle at all because last letters are always sukun, right? Because they're hamzas. And the previous letter, if it's fatha, write it on an alif. If it's dhamma, write it on a waw. If it's kasra, write it on a ya. Correct? If you want to simplify it. You just need a little bit practice to understand this. But if you understand just a basic rule, there should be power struggle and the last letter has a sukun. Even this is fine. ملحوظة إذا ترتب على كتابة الحمزة على الألف والواو والتوالي الأمثال في الخط. If there's double, there's some note here. كتبت همزة على السطر مثل يتساءلون. Now why is it written on the line here? Because there's توالي الأمثال يتساءلون. Hamza is written, so it'll be like weird, no? Alif is also there, and then see, you write it like this. Yatasaaluna. So it'll be like, this too many lams, this. So like, forget it. Let's write it like this. Ru'us. Ru'us also is written like this because Ra, Dhamma, and this also has a Dhamma. So there's already a Vav here. So if there's double like this, you'll get used to it. But if there's double things here, you'll write it on the line. إلا إذا كان ما قبلها من الحروف ما يوصل مما بعد فإنه تكتب على نبرة مثل بطءا. But if it is from the حروف مما يوصل, it is joined. مما بعده, it will be joined after it. فإنها تكتب على نبرة, you write it on a ya. شؤون, like شؤون, why not on a wow? Why not on the line? Because you have to read it together maybe, This is what he means. بطءا شؤون إلا إذا كان ما قبلها من الحروف These are the huruf before it. Mimma yusilu mimma ba'dahu, which will be joined, which comes after it. Tuktabu ala nabra, written on nabra. That is a ya without dots. Okay. So I didn't properly understand this actually. Except my min al-hurufi mimma yusilu mimma ba'dahu, which joins of what comes after it. So what do you mean joins? Oh, maybe wow noon is coming here and this is written anyways. Maybe that. Allah. There are some exceptions here. Power struggles again. But don't worry about exceptions. They are rare. إذا وقعت الحمزة في الأول الكلمة وبعدها ألف المد استغنى عنها بالعلامة المد فوق الألف مثل آدم. And they'll be joined together if it's Hamza is starting in the sense, no? And there's a mad also. So you'll join it. Adam, akala, akulu, akhad, al-ana. ويحدث هذا على قلة في وسط الكلمة. We've read this rule in the starting also. Quran, it can come in between also sometimes. Quran, mar'at, or mir'atun. This will actually mir, and then alif, and then Hamza. So they all both will be joined into a mirror. Mir'atun. Al-fathatu ba'da al-waw is sakina. Fatha after waw sukun. Waw sukun. Okay. فتحة after this بمنزلة السكون كما تعد الياء الساكنة في وسط الكلمة بمنزل الكسرة. لذلك تكتب الحمزة مفردة في مروءة. مروءة. Now الفتحة بعد الواو. فتحة is coming after واو ساكنة. It is as if it is سكون. كما تعد ياء الساكنة في وسط الكلمة. مروءة. Why is it written not on an alif? Well, wow has a sukun before it. Wow sakina. Shanu'ah. So it's as if it'd be weird to write it on alif maybe. Yasu, these are Moru'ah is like having manhood or something. Shanu'ah is a tribe name. Walan yasa'uka. Yasu'aka. And they will not harm you. Wa inna daw'aka. So remember after wow sakina is an exception. Ala nabra fi mithli hay'ah. Why is it written like this? Why is the rule not followed? Because ya sakina after waw is considered as sukun. So the rule is considered as a kasra. Al-fathatu ba'da al-waw is sakina tu'addu bi manzilati sukun. It is as if considered as a sukun. Kama tu'addu al-yaw sakina fi wasat al-kalima bi manzil al-kasra. So for waw, it is as if it is sukun, so write it on the line. And ya is considered as a kasra, ya sakina, and fatha after that. So two conditions should be there. Waw should have a sukun. The letter following should have a fatha. And then ya should have a sukun, and the letter following have a kasra. So it will be considered as a kasra itself, or the fatha itself. Hay'a, yai'a. So these are some exceptions. Khati'a, we'll get used to it because you can't imagine without anything else. Khati'a, if it comes in your mind. Badi'a, mistake. Badi'a, to be free. Mashi'a, walking. But the rule is actually ya sukun, and after that fatha is as if ya has a kasra. So write it on the ya. Okay. All right, let's do exercises. بين سبب في كتابة الهمزة على الصورة التي عليها هي الكلمات التالية. Why is these words written? Inshallah ta'ala, we'll do this. Ya'muru. Let's practice this. There's some words here, and we'll be done with this book. Ya'muru, he commands. So let's take a pencil. Let's do some harakats exercise. This has a sukun. This has a fatha. So who's gonna win? Fatha or sukun? Fatha is gonna win. So written on an alif. This guy win. Right? This guy win. So written on alif. Because if fatha wins, we'll write it on alif, right? So this guy won. Maybe I'll choose some other color. Okay. Mu'minun. Mu'minun. This has a sukun. Who's gonna win? Dhamma wins. Bi'run. Who's gonna win? Well, this guy is gonna win. So written on a kind of, or nabra it is called. Za'run. I'm not going to go into the meanings. You can search. I don't know what Za'run means. But Sar. I am going actually. Roaring. Okay. Za'run. So this has a fatha. Sukun. So this guy wins. Mukafa'atun. This is mixed. This is mud anyways. Mukafa'at. Compensation or something. So mukafa, fatha, and then It had a alif and then alif with the hamza sukun. It made mad. So there's nothing here. Mu'nun. I think it's with dhamma. Oh, mu'anun. Mu'anun. Mu'nun. With a sukun, I believe. Mu'na supplies. Some are giving fatha also. Mu'anun. But anyways, even if it's fatha. Okay. This has a fatha. Who wins here? Dhamma wins. Fi'atun. Fi. Who's gonna win? Kasra wins. Mas'alatun. Fi'atun is a group. We have to see a sukun here. Fatha wins here. The second letter wins. Dham'anu. Oh, this is not dham'an. Dham'an has a mad. This is thirsty. Dham'an. Maybe it should be a mad. This is a mistake. That's what I was confused. Dham'an. It should be a mad. So mad rules are anyways no problem. Yana. Yana. Maybe there should be no ya after that. Yana is to grow. I don't know if there's a word like that, but anyways, this is fatha. So fatha wins. You can go like that. But'an. But'an. Sukun and fatha. So fatha wins. I'm just putting the winner. Haraka. Qira'atun. This has a sukun. Qira'atun. Now, why is it written on the line? This is a problem. Because don't want copycats. It already has alif madda, no? So that's why. So we actually should have been an alif as per the rule. Yana is to distance himself, maybe. Na'a yan'a. Oh, it's yan'a. Okay. Yan'a. So fatha wins. Yeah. So you can get the idea. Inshallah. Qira'atun. We don't want double tawali lamthal as it is called. We don't want all these things. So that's why we wrote it on the line. And Daw'an. Why is it written like this? Well, Daw'an, two lights maybe. Daw'an. This has a fatha, but again double letters. So that's why not written on alif. Tawali lamthal. Hay'a. This is an exception. Ya with a sukun and after that fatha is as if ya has a kasra. So that's why written on a ya, exception, star mark. Not following rules. Ya ummu. This is also an exception, by the way. I mean, if you wanted to keep qira'atun also here. This is also an exception. Ya ummu. Ya ummu. I'll just go quickly maybe. Who's gonna win? Dhamma wins. Bada'u. Who's gonna win? Well, this has a fatha, this has a dhamma, but already a waw after that, so exception again. So written on the line, if it next exception. Sa'ul, who's gonna win? Fatha, dhamma wins, but waw again, so exception again. Written on this thing, Sa'ul. But there's a problem here. Why is it written on like this? It should be written like this, no? On the line. Why is it written on the on the nabra? So that is a question which you have to ask. Maybe it's after the first letter. So maybe that's why. A middle letter, who's gonna win? Dhamma wins. Again, vav is a problem. The vowel before. Stronger vowels wins the seat. Strongest, yeah, sure. The hamza itself has dhamma. So fatha or dhamma wins. So yeah. So it should actually be it's a mistake. It should be written on a waw. Yeah, Sa'ul, this is a mistake. So this should not make it. It should be written like on a waw, I think. Fa'ul pattern. It should be written on a waw. Because it doesn't follow the rule. Anyways. Because Dhamma wins again, like Sha'un. I mean, there are repetitions. If there are repetitions, you should write it on the Hamza thing. Correct? Anyways, Mabadi'ukum, Kasra wins. Mar'us, Sukun, and this thing, but there's a vowel, so written on the line, fine. Ru'ya mar'us, the head, and the people who are followers are called mar'us, maybe. Ru'ya, kasra means juz'un. Imagine juz, it has a sukun. So this also has a sukun. So it'll be written on a line. So this both have sukun because last letters are considered always as sukun. So nobody wins. Jari, this also has a sukun. This also has sukun. Imagine it's a sukun. Jari un, but imagine the sukun, so written on the line. Jari bold. Wadu'a. Who's gonna win? What? But here, I mean, wadu. Imagine there's a sukun, right? It has a fatha, and then so dhamma wins. It's not fatha. Anyways, dhamma wins anyways. So, ya khuduna. They are taking. Ya and sukun. So, yeah, fatha wins. Inshallah. I hope it is clear, yeah? You can go through like that. Ru'ya, dhamma wins. Dhi'ban, kasra wins. Sa'ala, fatha wins. Tasha. You can go through, I guess. I mean, why is it? He's giving so many words. Nash'an for practice. Nash'an, who's gonna win? Sheen has a sukun. This has fatha. So fatha wins, of course. But it's written like this because there's an exception, because if it follows a mad or something, an something it follows, but an this rule. إلا إذا كان ما قبلها من الحروف مما يوصل مما بعده. It joins with the following it, because with waw we won't join it, no? Oh, maybe that's the rule for this thing also. If you have to join it, so you'll not write it on the waw. Okay. Then now I understood it. Okay. See, إذا ترتب على ألف والواو توالي الأمثال. If they're double twin letters, no, في الخط, the hamza will be written on the line, right? That's what we've learned, on the line. Except when you have to join it, ما يوصل ما بعده. If you have to join it, they don't like write on the waw and lift your pen. You write it on the like this, but'an. Now I've understood it. That's why Saul is fine. Saul is fine because you have to join it. Okay. So let me write it down. But'an, if you have to join it on a nabra. All right. Okay. Ri'atan, kasra wins. Nash'a. You get the idea, no? Fatha wins. Mar'atun, sukun, and fatha wins. Man'a, fatha wins. Dif'ani, fatha wins. Tada'ala. Now, do you have to join with the following? No, not necessarily. So it's written on the line. It just has a sukun anyways. But there are two different ones. So no need to join because lam can be written separately. Udu, uhu. Fai'un, it's both sukun. Ya uzzu, wa wins, dhamma wins. Khara'u, they've read. So who wins? Khara'u. Dhamma wins, but there's a waw anyways. Now see, the rule, it says you have to join it. Fine. Ma qablaha. Before that you have to join. Oh, now I've understood. Okay. I was thinking about after it. Qablaha. If you have to join before it. So confusing. Oh, that's what. Ra, we don't join to the hamza, so we'll write it on the line because you cannot join anyways, no? Sa'ul is again like same like Sa'ul with a sad. So fatha and dhamma wins, but there's a waw again, but you can join with the sin, so write it on that is nabra. Wata'u. Okay. Fatha and dhamma wins, and then dhamma wins, but there's a waw again, so when you can join with the ta, so write it like this. So many steps, huh? Ada'u, well, you can't join with alif before, so write it on the line. Double. Ruz'un, I mean, both sukun wins. Rid'un, radi'un, write it on the line. Atakafu, dhamma wins, fine. Ya'kulani, fatha wins. Yu'dhi, you can pause the video and see who wins. Yu'dhi, okay, wow has a sukun. I mean, the hamza has a sukun. This has dhamma, so dhamma wins. Itmi'nani, kasra wins. Da'bun, dal has a fatha, so sukun wins. Bud'an, so bud, dal has a sukun, and this has two fathas, but we cannot join with the dal, so write it on the line. Yu'ajjilu, ya has a dhamma, and then this has a fatha. Who's gonna win? Fatha, dhamma is gonna win. Radi'un, radi, that is sukun. Just sukun, so sukun means sayyi'ah. Oh, difficult. Sayyi, kasra. And then there's too many he's given too many Huh? This is a mistake. Sayyi'ah. So let's try writing sayyi'ah. It has two dhammas, huh? Sayyi'ah. Right? Now, this has a kasra and this has a fatha. Now, why not on the fatha? Sayyi'ah. So how do you write sayyi'ah? It has two yas maybe. Sayyi'ah. Sayyi. Oh, anyways, kasra wins. Yeah. I kasra and fatha, no? So that's why I like this. So why did you write it like this? That's a mistake, maybe. Juz'aini, sukun and fatha wins. Mal'anu, lam has a sukun. This has fatha. So we'll give a mad anyways. Mar'a, fatha wins. Ib'ani, ba has a sukun, so fatha wins. Hawa'atun, hawa'atun, alif has a sukun. This has a fatha, but too many copycats, so write it on the line. Ib'un, ba has a sukun. This also has sukun. So anyways, bari, sukun, jar'un, sukun, fine. Qa'ul, dhamma wins. Dhami'u, kasra wins. Ja'u, why is it written on the line? Well, there's an alif before it, so we don't like double. So write it on the line. Su'ila, or sa'ala, fatha wins. Aib'un, I mean sukun. Alif wins. Badi'ani, kasra wins. You can see from what it is written, right? So that also helps, these rules help you. All right. So guess the previous letters, this thing. So this is lu'um. This waw creates a mental image that it's a dhamma before. That's why they've written it also. Mi'zar. You get to know that's not ma'zar or mu'zar. That also helps you, gives a clue that it's obviously mi'zar because Hamza is written like that. Ja'run. Jar. How do I know it's jar, not jir or jur? Because it's written on alif. So you're mentally prepared for that. Subhanallah. So that's a secret behind all these complicated rules. But yeah, it is complicated. This is what lij'an, or maybe lij'an. Bad'un, sukun. So you can do, I guess. I mean, ra'asun. Inshallah. Ra'uf. Why is it written like this? Well, ra cannot join, so write it on the line, double letters. Tawali al-amthal. Qari'una, yalta'imu, kasra wins. Okay. Mukhti'ina, kasra wins. Diniya, what is this? Kasra wins again. Yeah. Yarzu'uhum, dhamma wins. Both have dhamma anyways. Ru'um, what's happening here? Maybe it has a sukun then. Ru'um, yeah. Both have dhamma, but there's already a dhamma and you cannot join with the previous letters, write it on the line. Right, with this, we are done with this book. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. You see how this book is, yeah, inshallah. It's just a small book, but how many sessions we've taken? We've taken 31 sessions for this small book. Just how many pages? 87 pages. Imagine, right? We needed 31 lessons for this. Very good book. I would always suggest you to do this book because this is the book which made me, not master, but get a good grip on Sarf. This is the book I actually started understanding root letters and this, that. It's a small book. I don't have the hard copy also of this book, subhanAllah. But if you're watching it and if you watch all the 31 videos, it'll be very beneficial. Although we'll struggled a lot in between, but because this was the first time I was teaching, but maybe we can make one short video, inshallah, someday of this book. Wonderful book. And Ramadan Abdul Tawwab has done wonderful, rahimahullah, teaching Sarf in just 80 pages, giving a lot of exercises because in Sarf exercises matter a lot. But with that, we are finishing this book. Inshallah, when it starts, this book will just a downgrade, but good for beginners. Inshallah, Tasriful Izzi. Inshallah, I have a share of it. Inshallah, we'll start this book in Sarf next class. Barakallahu feekum. Jazakallahu Khairan. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Keep watching. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.